Yo, yo, yo. Got another episode three. Episode three. This one came at me. I wanted to get somebody on here that a familiar face name, to Omaha and then, just in Nebraska, as a state itself. We get the pleasure of speaking with, Niles Paul. He is currently, I want to say, wide receiver coach at Omaha North High School. So we're going to get him on the show today. We're going to pick his brain a little bit, So not only is it just for the players, we want to make this thing as convenient for the athletes, so we can get a coach on here to talk about, football, especially a guy like him who played the game. He played it at the highest level. He played it at the NFL level. So, we definitely want to pick his brain on some things. And he's from the community. He's a North Omaha kid. Not kid, but North Omaha athlete. Homegrown, born and raised. And so, we're going to chop it up with him. So again, I told you guys before many times that we need community support. We need those athletes that's not kind of highlighted on a weekly basis. We need them on the show. Some will call them the underdogs, but sometimes athletes don't really look at themselves as an underdog. They just probably don't have the right connection, that can get them a ranking or get them in front of a camera or news reporters like some others, because it is about networking. It is about what you know, who you know. Who you know determines what you know, right? So we need the community support. We need people to follow us. We need more athletes on here. Instead of me going to have to reach out to them. I know a couple guys, but again, I want to get guys on here that I don't know. Let me do some homework on them as they welcome an invite to coming on your highlight podcast show. So we need that from the parents. We need that from the athletes as well. Because that takes me to my next point with branding and marketing. I talk about this a lot. Just knowing that we are in an era now where we get to talk to our athletes about image and their name and their likeness, and being able to just get an education on what it's like to be a performer at the high school level, because that's what it is entertainment. And now we can really talk about it at the high school level, the entertainment and what that does from a value standpoint for the athlete. So branding and marketing is very, very important. So again, for those athletes who's not on a lot of the local and regional and national radars, this is just a perfect show to get you on here. You can tag your friend and tag a friend. You can do whatever you need to do to get some exposures all on this podcast. The goal is to get colleges and college coaches and personnel to kind of chime in and get a more in-depth look at some of the athletes they are recruiting or they want to look at, because it's not just about watching the athlete on the football field. It's really about getting to know that athlete, because I feel like the more you get to know the athlete, the better you'll be able to relate, offer whatever help is needed for the athlete can be the best version of themselves. So, branding and marketing is very, very important. We're going to always talk about that. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, man, that's where we at. We're not on Instagram. I'm still trying to get us on Twitch. We're going to get that figured out. But right now, we on YouTube, we on Facebook, and we on Twitter. Go follow us. Go subscribe at YouTube. Y'all know how it is, man. We in year 2022, and social media is the thing nowadays, man. So y'all know what it is. Hit the like buttons, go follow, go subscribe. You know, go follow, and then tag us with another friend or two, so they can go subscribe and follow. Do all that creative stuff to put neighborhood athletes on your highlight podcast on the map. That's where it's at. You know, we are in the middle of the week, man. I kind of been taking this thing by storm. Yesterday we had the privilege of speaking with Danny, the QB over at Bellevue West, and that was a pretty good show. A lot of these interviews and just having the opportunity to speak with people it really don't come on my time. It come on the time of the athlete, or in this case of the coach. Because we got to respect what it is that they have going on. I definitely want to do that a lot, for sure. And sometimes planning for a game, you got to be in a certain mindset, and I definitely want to respect that. So I kind of just tweaked, how I want the show to be set up. I'm taking this thing by storm. As guys want to, hop on here, we just gonna make it happen. But the goal is to run the show at 11 p.m. Friday night. So this is like a pilot. I'm like piloting this podcast. I got some people saying, why don't I do it Saturday morning? And then I got some people saying that's a cool idea to do it Friday night. Because a lot of high schoolers, they on the bus, they on their phone, they looking at, what it is that have their name on it from all the social media sites, and then they go home, they might eat. You're around 9:30, 10 o'clock there, shower up before bed. You know what I'm saying? You probably want to tap into the show to get that little nightcap of high school football. And then, having the privilege of speaking with some of the guys who played, earlier that night. So that's kind of the goal. That's definitely the goal, So I'm gonna run it as is. However it is, the athletes kind of come to us and just kind of welcome their time, and we just gonna fly with it right there. We're gonna make this thing available for the people, for the youth, for the parents, for those who wanna know what's going on with the local athletes. So again, it's not just about being on the football field and seeing them on Friday nights. Let's get to know these guys. Let's get to know them. I try to ask questions outside of just the sport. And so yeah, we are definitely going to keep this thing rolling. So when I get back on here, we're going to take a quick 30 seconds to a minute break. And then we'll invite Niles Paul on the show. So check back in with us here in just a second. Yo. So while we wait on Niles to get on here, we'll you know, keep the show going. Talk about a few things. I think there's some miscommunication there on the email that I got to send to him to join us. It's a link, so should be on here shortly. But yeah, we're gonna definitely, chop it up with him. See what his take is on, being a high school coach. Man, a high school coach. You know, I played basketball, and the highest level I wanted to get to, it definitely was the league. It was the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, once I kind of ended my career, it was kind of hard for me to figure out what it is that I wanted to do after ball. I had my educations. I got a master's degree in secondary education, and I have a bachelor's degree in business and administration. And so, you know, you hear all the time about the competition of jobs and all this and all that. And I tested the waters, early off, post my career, and I just wasn't feeling a lot. I wasn't feeling a lot of just having that grit, and so you know I kind of got into the coaching, and that was a good thing. So I was able to still give time and give back to the youth, and so that was my reason for coaching. And so we definitely gonna pick Niles' brain and see what that's like for him. So he's on right now. So without further ado, um, let's get him on here. Okay, there he is. There he is. What's going on, Niles? How you doing?
What would you do there?
Man, nothing much, man. So for y'all don't know, he called me Day Day. Y'all see Lamar on here, but that's a name that I
Well, I call my
Look,
cousin, man.
I
You my
got
cousin.
I
I
got
don't
I
call you
got him
Lamar.
smiling. That's it. Got my fam smiling. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that a little bit later about our kind of our ties together. But
Hmm.
yeah, man, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, no problem, man. It's always love.
Yeah, I wanted to I started this show really to, give people just a platform to talk about, not only football, but, the stuff outside of football. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So many times, people, fans, coaches, etc., they know the athlete for what they do on the football field, but
Hmm.
until they start recruiting them and all that stuff, they won't know who they are. They won't know
Right,
what their upbringing is like, et cetera, et cetera. So, you
right.
know, this podcast definitely allows that. I kind of go, it's like a flow. Like I got a couple questions that I want to ask. So if there's any, questions that you don't want to answer, man, I ain't. You can tell me. I ain't trying to answer that right now. This all good. It's
Yeah, I
all
got
good
you. I
shit.
got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into this thing. Hey y'all, this is Niles Paul right here. Niles Paul. We're gonna get right into this thing, man. You was alumni at North High School. You went to North High, graduated from there. You was all state for how many years at North?
Probably just 2 years. I
Two
didn't
years.
really get. Yeah, I didn't really start getting busy till my junior year.
Okay. Okay. So he definitely
Yeah.
was all state. Um, he come back home. So what made you want to make that transition from being a player to coming a coach at this time in your life right now?
To be honest, man, I never really saw myself as a coach. I just, what I'm saying, like it's not really a role I wanted to take on, but at the same time, I loved working with, the youth. I loved showing and like, seeing the progress with and like showing, like doing little camps and showing kids certain things that to help them win and succeed in the next level at this specific profession that
Mm,
I partake in. So when Coach Martin reached out to me with an opportunity to come home and help out coaching. I wasn't really. I was kind of retired. I told myself like, yo, I'm taking a leap year, which a leap year turned into a couple years, and I end up,
Yeah.
I was really just chilling, and I was like, yo, I can go home and help. Like at first, in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna go home and help.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and help at North, and then it
Yeah.
became like the coaching thing, and like it's been quite the transition. Like I ain't gonna lie, like I said, I never saw myself as a coach, so you
Mm.
know I understand like being such a talented young athlete when I was in high school. It's hard for me to teach the transition. You know what I'm saying? To teach
Mhm.
like certain things and hope they pick up on it, and then I got to be more detailed. So
Mhm.
I'm enjoying the process because it's making me really develop like like it's making me really develop like what I did to perfect my craft and how I, you know, found myself doing certain things and this and that and how the way I thought.
Mm.
So trying to explain that to them, and I think that when I see them do certain stuff and I like and like to see a player do stuff that you taught them is fulfilling, and I didn't realize how
Mm.
fulfilling that was. Like, okay, like
Mm.
what I'm saying? You watching this young man that you taught him this technique or you taught him this, and it's like to see him put it on film or just to do
Yeah.
it and put it in live play.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's kind of fulfilling, and I like that
Yeah.
feeling. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's the positive about it for me.
Yeah. Cause I know you get out there, man, and I know you not just in your coaching shirt, man. I know you got on those shorts, man, probably a tank top. I know you getting out with them guys and showing them,
Yeah,
breaking
yeah,
the
yeah.
sweat.
If
Yeah.
it was up to me, I had my cleats on the field. Like I remember when we was earlier in the summer with I had just started with with North High. It was early in the
Yeah.
summer and like we was getting some summer work in. I was go out there. I go with my cleats on, and at times I still want to put my cleats on because I feel like I can show them. I mean I'm not a old guy, but I'm not
Right.
exactly their age, but
Right.
I can put it on, like I can put it in visual for them of how to do this, right? So at times
Hmm.
I wanna that's the coaching and it's like coaching slash player line that I keep drawing, It's like, all
Mm.
right, I don't need to come out here with my cleats on. Like I need to coach them through this. I need to teach them how to
Yeah.
break down and how to get through this progression and everything without having to do it myself. Like but
Mm.
part of me be wanting to get out there and just go through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even with one
Yeah.
on ones,
Yeah.
it'd be like I want to
Yeah.
show them how
Yeah.
to beat this defender, and then but not being able to go out there and do it like hands on, but having to coach you
Mm.
through it is a process. So it's a
Yeah.
process I
Yeah.
didn't respect or I didn't
Yeah.
understand. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's new to me. I
But
like it. I enjoy it.
but, but see, I kind of feel like now where we at, the era of just sports, the games have evolved. Like, and that's sports all across the board. And
Yeah,
I don't never have anything against like old ways of teaching things and methods and strategies because there's some old ways of doing things that really hit on fundamentals. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But I kind of feel like we have is athletes across the board that's ready to evolve and take that knowledge from someone that's still young like yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
older than you. So you
absolutely.
still have the juice to where these young athletes will be like, oh man, he still got that to him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I think that'll hit a lot faster, and you know what I'm saying, and it'll hit differently than like some old traditional ways. You know what I'm saying?
right. No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
yeah. So we're gonna
Honestly,
dive
like
into.
if I could get out there and put the pads on and show them how to do certain things, I would. I feel like I
I
still could. I feel like I
yeah,
still
yeah,
could, but
yeah,
that you gotta sit back and be a coach.
yeah. So let's look at this week, man. This is week one for y'all, man. This is. I know them boys is hyped over there. Some good reports, came out through the week just about what's over there, the talent that's over there, some things to look out for. So the matchup against Bellevue West, So without spilling all the beans, because I don't want you to give out
I
too
got you.
much. What I mean,
No,
what
I
have you
would. I
learned?
would.
What have you learned, man, from that week zero game? Let's talk about the defensive side for Bellevue West. Like, what have you learned, like from their skill players and such?
I mean, that was. I mean, the defensive side was kind of like my main focus, and just being able to
Yeah,
watch film on them and see that they loaded with talent, and
yeah.
talent in the back end that Creighton Prep. Watching that game, Creighton Prep never really challenged. So,
Mm,
I'm excited to get out there and see, the talent, the level of talent they got in that back end, and to
mm,
see my boys compete against them. So, to
mm,
me, like I think this is one of the biggest challenges of the season for
mm,
our guys in the test they level and where they're at, and I hope we can see where everybody's at.
mm. Yeah, so you know, just kind of speaking about some of the talent that Bellevue West have that you guys are you're going to see. Uh, Definitely explosive. Not only do I have I do have a son on the team, which is a little
Hmm.
relative of yours.
Yeah,
But I think they shown like how explosive they are, especially with that receiver core. So yeah,
yeah,
man, thank you for that piece there. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was the family, the bloodline kind of go deep, man, with talent, man. It's
it is.
you got yourself, for those on here, like I said, it's a local show. So just in your bloodline, you got Amon Green, Brandon Thomas played basketball. People don't pretty know Uncle Jerry, but Uncle Jerry was,
Yeah.
good back in his days. Even my brother, Kenny McMorris when he played basketball,
Hmm.
and so now
Yeah.
you got a little cousin, that's still holding down the city,
Oh man.
Omaha. What you don't follow him a little bit, let's talk about his growth. What does it mean to you to see a little cousin, kind of playing some football?
It's crazy because it's like I was just talking to some of the other coaches and like and
Hmm.
and to have a little cousin on the team that we opened the game against WS. We playing. I
Right.
wish he would have came. I wish he would have came to North. I wish he would have came to
Right.
North, and I had the opportunity to coach him. Um, but at the same time, you want to see him succeed. You want to see him do great,
Hmm.
and obviously, like
Hmm.
we competing against his team, and it's like, I still want to win. But
Right.
I know I'm gonna have moments over there. If I see him make a big play, I'm gonna be like, like
Yeah.
like I'm gonna get there
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
being able to watch film on him, this week and really like see his development and
Yeah.
knowing that when I was in the league and I was in college, like you had them around and he was a
Yeah.
youngin and to see his development, it was like I'm like okay man, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hype about it. Like I'm hype about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited. Like I don't think I'll probably get a feeling like this in any other game in the season. Just to know, like,
Yeah.
oh, the little Relly over there on the other side.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how he play. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it in person. This is
Yeah.
really one of the first
Yeah.
times I get to see it in person.
Yeah. Yeah, because I always educate, my boys on just, family, and they, the background, how deep that is, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I wanted to switch topics, man, to this NIL, name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal right now.
Absolutely.
It's been piloting itself with the college ranks. Nebraska is one of 9 states that is legit, at the high school level. So I don't know how much knowledge that you do have about NIL, but I would like for you to tell the people, just kind of talk about that, like what you think, like how would you think it would have impacted you as a player in college, and let's get even deeper, and if there was an opportunity in high school.
As far as what though, like you saying,
It's,
like
as far as like
like
how would you think it would have impacted you as a player in college, um at the time when you was in college, and then when you was in high school, just
yeah. I
opportunity to
mean,
get financial means, gains
oh
and such.
man, I think it would have changed a lot because
Hmm.
the goal is always at a young age is like, oh, maybe it's a little different now. I feel like it's still the same, but go D1, go NFL, right?
Hmm.
And you get to NIL, right? I think, me knowing my young self, like I'd have been trying to cake up as much money as I can, like to get my name, image, and likeness, because I knew how much money they was making off me in certain situations, even
Mm,
at North High and even going to Nebraska. It's like,
mm-hmm,
dang, like so I am so excited
mm-hmm.
for the youngins in this because I think they are taking the power back to all this. Like, all right,
Mm,
like now you gotta show me what I'm worth. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Now you can't just treat me like, you know what I'm saying, like just a castaway. Like now you gotta actually show me what I'm worth. You gotta respect and develop me. And I think it's putting kids in a bigger opportunity now. So I'm
Yeah,
hype about it. And like
yeah.
I think the youth should really capitalize, but I'm a little jealous at the same time because I wish I was in this era because I would have been like, I'm
Right.
like, I'd have tried to be a billionaire before I got to,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right. Right.
but
And
you
that's
don't
kind of
think
like
that? But let me
yeah,
ask you this though: you
yeah,
don't think that, like, say you get a kid who start making millions in his likeness in college,
yeah.
do the NFL become any more important at that point in time? It's like the goal to get
Mm,
is to get to NFL and compete, but also it's to make that money. It's to make the millions. If you making
right.
the millions in college, like, is the goal not the NFL no more?
Mm, mm. Well, because I was reading some reports about kind of beefing up that semi pro league through that
The
because
XFL
now
or the UFL?
I want to say both, like, but it's gonna
Yeah,
be more of like a minor league. You know how the
yeah,
MLB have the minor league to the majors,
yeah.
so it'd be something like that, but it'd be in the states, of course. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Because the
I think that's
XFL,
big. I think that's
yeah,
big. Like I want to see one of those minor leagues like XFL, UFL. I want to see one of those succeed, and I want to see them
yeah,
do it right because I think you can develop a lot of young talent through that, and I think that's
yeah,
what football is missing because
yeah,
it's such a big leap when you go
mm,
from high school to college. The game becomes faster, right?
mm,
It's a big
mm,
leap as a
mm,
freshman, and the freshmen that can tune in and catch it, like those are ones that succeed early, and some of them need to stay a little longer. But the leap from college to the pros is so much faster. It's like it'll like if you're not used to it, if you've been in a system that protects you or been in a program that protects you, like
mm,
the shit will just cast you away. So to be
mm,
able to do the UFL or the XFL and be in a developmental league, I think that's gonna be big for
yeah,
a lot of football careers that didn't get a chance because it's a lot of guys that end up going to Canada and have a legendary career in Canada, and it's like
mm,
they can easily come play ball over here, you know?
mm. Yeah, because it makes sense because if you offer NIL deals in college and then even at the high school, now you're getting an early evaluation because not everybody can go to the league,
Yeah, not everybody.
but
No,
everybody can't go to the league, but you know how many players still want to continue their careers, after college. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And so the data is going to be there from while they in high school and while they in college. They might
yeah,
not be, draft quality, but they still have a portfolio from high school getting paid and
hmm
college for teams to say, okay, well, they do got some value to them. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, I think
And
you'll find kids who make more money in high school and college than they ever would make going to the league.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. Hey, and it's crazy you say that because there are all type of sites out here where they evaluating these athletes in high school, like right now throughout the country.
I saw them evaluating them in 8th grade, 7th grade in Omaha. That's
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah, and got to put a price tag on them and everything. It's like
man.
fantasy football in high school. You
That's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? And but I like it because the number one reason I like it because so long we hear that 1% of student athletes go pro. You see
Right,
commercials like that all the time. So
all the
to
time.
me, I always felt like that was discouraging. You know what I'm saying? Because it, you hear student athlete all the time, but me playing sports is what drove my motivation to do better in the classroom.
Right.
But the narrative is for us to be student athletes. Like, I'll challenge people like, why can't we be athlete students? It's the same thing, but for some people and some cultures, athletics is what drive them to want to go to school every day and do
Right.
well in school so they can qualify. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so yeah,
it's the prize you get from athletics. It's this,
yeah,
if you got a free scholarship, you get money. Now you got NIL deals. Like,
yeah,
you can
yeah,
come from nothing and really like become a, a millionaire in college
yeah,
just off
yeah,
NIL. Like that's what it looked like it's leading to. So
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
exciting times and changes, and I think that it kind of will just change the dynamic of of goals. You know,
yeah, yeah.
like
And it's
shit. Who
motivation.
wouldn't
It's
want to go?
instant
Who wouldn't want
motivation.
to go? Who wouldn't want to go to one of these top programs and just get paid
Hmm.
big money for 4 years just for being
Hmm.
there?
Yeah. And you still get the college experience, you
You
know.
still get all that, but you
You
get that college
still get all
experience. Normally, you get the college experience and you broke.
that.
Now we gonna have
Yeah.
kids going through the college experience and they caked up. So it's gonna be a whole
Right,
different
right.
college experience for them.
It's
Because
gonna be a
my
whole
college
different.
experience, like man, we having $100 in college was straight. Like we was living,
Yeah.
we was going, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But now
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
bread in college, they gonna be living good. They gonna like we was
Yeah.
shacked
Yeah.
up, we was all shacked up. Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
The college experience is gonna be different.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm
Right.
jealous. I'm jealous.
Right. Right, man. But it's definitely gonna be lovely, man. So,
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna kind of go to the last question, man. So it's definitely a Husker question. You definitely played at Nebraska.
Hmm.
They start the season this weekend. Like, what's your like what are you looking forward to seeing out of them this year?
Uh, I think Nebraska made a lot of moves that benefited them and put a lot of people in position to like be real. Like I think this is one of the few years that I'm kind of really optimistic about like the Huskers. And like I think they got a lot of key players and especially in that quarterback position and tightened it up. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what they do. And I ain't gonna lie, if they have, if it end up being a bad season, I'm gonna be real disappointed because I think that, Nebraska out of most schools should be able to take advantage of exactly what we was
Mm-hmm.
talking about. This
Right.
NIL, I
Mm-hmm.
saw something on Bussin' with the Boys podcast that, Nebraska has the most student athletes with NIL deals, right? Or
Mm-hmm. I
something.
saw that.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, we're attraction now. So we're getting kids. I think we're getting the talent again. So I'm excited about the progression of this program. And I think it should be easier for us to do that, especially this year with what we brought in. You know, I think we got an opportunity to really like turn some heads. So I'm excited about
Mm.
that.
Mm. I think the same thing, man. I think the same thing. I keep it real with you. I wasn't impressed with the spring game, man. I was not
I didn't
impressed
see
with
it.
the
I didn't
spring.
see it. I didn't
Yeah,
see it. So
yeah,
I wish I would have saw it. So
we went out there, man, and checked it out, and I wasn't impressed, man. But from what I've from what I've been reading as of now, man, it seems like they got some things together, man. So, hey, Niles Paul, man, I want to thank you for coming on to the show today. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or that's kind of
oh
the cat?
no. I thought we was gonna talk about how saying we related. Like you big cuz.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That too.
Little
That
cuz play
too.
for Bellevue West. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
that's my kinfolk, man, and I love that
Yeah.
dude, man. Man, I was happy to see him through just his career. I followed you so much, man, and I want the people to know like this is homegrown talent right here. You talk about playing in the NFL and everything in between for you young athletes. Hey, man, if you see him, don't be afraid to holler at him, talk to him.
Yeah.
Try to pick his brain. Especially, for me. I'm a culture dude. I love the culture which I grew up in, and for those who grown up in, like North Omaha, some would consider uh, some places in North Omaha, as poverty. There's so much bad stigmas about
Yeah.
just North Omaha in general. But for you athletes that's kind of in that same boat, when you see this man, or if you got him on social media, or you go follow him, man, ask him some questions. You know what I'm saying? Because he
Right.
did it. He did it. He went to Omaha North, then went to Nebraska, still stayed home, and then he achieved the ultimate goal of getting to the league. That's the
Hmm.
ultimate goal, and I talk about that all the time, man. So yeah, that's my little big cousin.
Yeah.
He bigger than me, but You
Cause it ain't
know,
even.
hey,
And the
I'm
thing is
gonna
that,
get
and
there
the
one
thing
day.
is, because that it ain't no blueprint to it, man. There ain't
Yeah.
no blueprint to it. You just, it's like you gotta have the attitude. Because when I was always a youngin', and you already know that, like I always thought, like to me, it was always about competing and always getting out there and like
Mm-hmm.
wanting to show somebody up every time I stepped on. But it was about putting in the time and effort to getting better. Like,
Mm.
you know, I don't think a lot of kids understand like a lot of time going to it. And it's like if you want to be better than everybody else, if you want to like in my mind, like I didn't want to beat the receivers. I mean, I didn't want to like be better than the receivers and DBs in Nebraska. I wanted to outplay them in the country. Like
Mm.
I wanted to be able to go anywhere and route niggas up and get busy.
Mm.
Like I wanted them to
Mm.
know, like, oh, I wanted them to ask you, where he from? Where he from? Like, oh, yeah,
Mm.
I'm from Nebraska. And then be surprised. Like that was always my goal. Like the level of competition. Like anywhere I went to any level, like college, pro, like I was trying to compete and show you up, whatever. When it come to blocking, when it come to whatever, and I think that's what drive me. That's what drove me. And I think that it'll benefit a lot of kids if they understand, like, bro, like if you really want this, if this is something that you really want to commit to, like you
Mm.
gotta commit. Like it start now. It started in high school. You gotta go. Like have your fun, enjoy yourself, but if like put the work in now and then in the long run, once you get to the league, that's when everything open up. That's when the freedom comes.
Mm.
That's when
Mm.
the freedom comes. That's when the real money comes. You know, the real money you can make.
Mm.
But
Mm.
as far as like in these prime years, like college and high school, it's like, bro, you gotta commit. It's
Mm.
time. Like you gotta make the decision to like, okay, I'm gonna outwork anybody. Like this is my job now. You gotta look at it as a job. This is my job. I'm gonna make this my career. Like you gotta put in the time. You really just gotta put
Mm.
in the time and effort to understand everything and get better.
Mm. So there you athletes have it, man. From them are jewels he's just dropped. Shit. It sounds like to me, I tell people all the time, it's like you versus you. You're not competing to wow the people locally. Like sometimes you get that at a very early age. It's about the competition on a national level because
Yeah,
somebody else is doing something better than you. Period. It don't matter if you think you're the best in the state right now. There's somebody bigger, faster, longer that's doing exactly what you're doing or better. You
exactly.
know, so you definitely got to put the work in. And shoot, and be a dog, man. Don't be a follower out there. I tell athletes that all the time, man. Separate yourself. If you dedicated to the game, it's levels to it. It's levels to it, and at each level, you got to challenge yourself to get better. So yeah, man, I appreciate that. Appreciate that word there. And so I'm gonna end the night, with my man's, with my cousin, my little cousin, Niles Paul. Definitely want to come chop it up with you at the game. I'm gonna make
Yeah,
my way over there, man. Good luck to y'all, man. Thank you, for being a mentor, being a coach. And to keep it real, be a father figure to some of them boys, man, because we know what time it is, and
yeah,
a lot of them athletes, man, they definitely gonna look up to you. You probably already know that now, but it's that voice that go a long way. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And so
yeah,
I just kind of appreciate that because that's what I do for the community. You know that with me being a player
right.
development and having teams and so forth. So not only are you my cousin, but you a special vessel out here in the community to these shorties, man. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, big cuz. Thanks, man.
No doubt, man. So till next time, I did want to say this last piece. I need that help, man. Just, you know, I don't know too many athletes at North, man, but I definitely want to get some athletes on the show. Because again, it's about getting them out there and get some
Yeah,
exposure. So, I'll hit you, just
yeah. Just let me
outside of the
know.
show. We can kind of
My
set that
boys
up.
will do it. My boys be chilling. They'll get down with you.
Okay, okay. Well, I appreciate it. See you on Friday, fam.
All right, big cuz.
All right, like. So yeah, that was Niles Paul, wide receiver coach from Omaha North. Hey man, had a good time with him. Yeah, that's my kid folk, man. Y'all didn't know that, but yeah, man, my family go pretty deep athletically, you know. Um, and I had to slip that question in there about his little cousin, because he is gonna be on the other sideline, and I know he gotta, hold down his camp over there, but at the same time, I know he, gonna want, my son Isaiah to do well. So Friday night, Bellevue West and Omaha North game will be played at Omaha Northwest High School, 7 o'clock p.m. It should be a pretty good matchup. So again, I need y'all support. I need y'all help. We want to get as many athletes on this show as we can, and even coaches as well. Again, we want to do whatever we can to put the athlete in position to get to that next level and continue on their career. You can follow us again on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Go subscribe, follow us, tell a friend, tell a friend, do whatever it takes. We want to keep this podcast going. So I thank y'all for joining me on my third episode of Own Your Highlight podcast, brought to you by Neighborhood Athletes. Until next time, peace.